Hello. So this is my first webinar, and I think one of the viewers has joined recently. Please let me know if you hear me well. In the question and answer section, you can write something so I could be aware. So I'm still trying to find out where can I see the list of viewers that have joined this session. But anyway, I will start. The purpose of this session is actually there are two purposes. First of all, I would like to show you around in what is possible in Microsoft Dynamics CRM as an application that can be used within an organization to perform sales, marketing, customer service, and help desk operations. And besides that, another purpose is that I wish that I can start doing such webinars on more regular basis and share my knowledge with more wider audience. On personal side, I have an experience with Dynamics CRM since 2004. I started working with this product when it was not even called Dynamics. It was a Microsoft's own developed tool since 2003, and they acquired some companies on the way, and now it's relabeled as Dynamics since 2007. So what is a CRM application? Customer relationship management. Yeah, it's pretty straightforward, but there are 3 or 4 pillars of a customer relationship management solution. First of all, of course, we start with some kind of marketing, then we enter some sales process, and once the sales have happened, we like to move into the space of customer care, where we wish to be more proactive than reactive, and of course we like to handle as many cases that come out of the sales during the life cycle. So any CRM application besides Microsoft Dynamics CRM will support these 3 or 4 operations on a higher level. There are many applications, some very big vendors like Salesforce. Oracle is in the space. We have some small vendors like Goldmine. We have Sugar CRM. We also have got open source software vendors which do provide some comprehensive tools. But the advantage of using Dynamics CRM is that it is from Microsoft platform, and it is integrated seamlessly within an organization with Office 365, or even if you're not using Office 365, it provides a lot of capabilities that you can use with your usual tools like Outlook and Word and Excel reporting. So having said that, I would like to start with how you can set up your own Dynamics CRM portal that provides you all those facilities without any limitation in Microsoft's online cloud. The only limitation is that it is 30 days trial, but every feature is fully functional for those 30 days. So I will also share the link of this. I just ramped up this organization, or this portal, whatever you can call this, in less than 5 minutes. So how you can do it, this is a URL that I will paste in our notes for this. I think I have it here somewhere in the chat. Okay. Please write here if you do not hear me well. Okay. So this is a very simple process, a 5-step process to make a functional portal portal of Dynamics CRM. So what does it provide out of box? Let's dig in. I think this is the one. Yeah, this is the URL that came with my subscription. So you can see that I am already logged in. Don't mind the language, this is Danish, so I have set up the version in English. So once you log in, you will land on this page which is called the dashboard. From the word dashboard, it's pretty straightforward. You can place your organization's KPIs like sales pipeline, lead source, top opportunities, top customers, and honestly all of this is pretty customizable. And where the customizations are limited, there's a significant possibility of extending it with custom development. So there are, I would say, based on my experience, I would say there are no limits on what you can do within each subsystem of this portal. So you land at this dashboards page, and you can see there are some out of box. I have not customized it at all at the moment. So whatever you see is completely vanilla version, and you can see there's some sample data. So if I try to refresh this, yeah. So this is the home page, and you start seeing some dashboards that you can switch around with. These are all out of box, and of course these are customizable. Once we move into the advanced sessions, we will also see how you can customize these dashboards. You can see they have different layouts, and yeah, some simple basic stuff with Microsoft Charts implementation. You can see some grids of data, like the activities that your organization uses, the sales or the marketing guys have been performing with the customers regarding whatever, some cases or some kind of sale. So okay, so this was so much so for the home page. Let's see what else is possible. We have got this this little icon which shows you the major, as I said, the main subsystems of the CRM portal: sales, services, marketing, and this is some settings area which is only accessible if you are administrator. So I am by default administrator here. And if I move into, let's say, sales area, you can see, yeah, your sales is mostly about customers. Customers could be accounts, contacts, and there could be some leads that you receive from your external sources, like some campaigns or some kind of events. Then you have sales opportunities, you maintain competitors, and everything around the sales process is available here. So if you look at Microsoft Dynamics CRM's study material or anything that you want to look at for the purpose of learning it, you will see a terminology called COLAC. COLAC stands for case, opportunity, lead, account, and case and contact. So these are major 5 entities. I just read a message that one of us cannot. Sorry, just hold on. Which is not that clear. Okay. I don't know what's the resolution of my screen right now, but I can quickly take a look. One of the participants cannot see the video so clearly, so give me a moment. So I'm using this resolution. I don't know if that suffices your resolution, but I hope you can still see the video afterwards. Okay. All right. So coming back to the terminologies, we have got some significant entities and To begin with, any CRM implementation, you've got accounts and contacts. Accounts represent companies, and contacts are the persons within or outside those companies that you maintain in your system. As part of my experience, what I have seen so far is that many organizations, though they are much mature, they are still using Excel-like workbooks to maintain this information. So what they start doing with is when they ramp up a new CRM system, whether that's Dynamics CRM or any other CRM system, they start using it the same way. They just try to maintain the same data in more beautiful user interface, not just Excel. That's not the purpose of CRM system. CRM system is supposed to support operations, your sales operations, your marketing operations, and your customer service operations around that core data that you maintain in your register. So the core data is accounts and contacts. Leads, they die, they relive, they come up again, and they die again. Opportunities are transactions that are concerning your accounts and contacts. Same way are the orders, invoices, quotations, and cases. But the core data is supposed to be maintained, and that data matures over time. So for example, you have some accounts and contacts in the system. They are your primary customers, and they have been doing business with you for many years. You have been maintaining their sales in the system, but you have never been rating them according to some kind of, to define some segmentation rules in your system. You have never done any such rating of your customers. That is one of a very simple operation that you would typically do on your customer data based on the sales that you have been performing and based on the problems that they have been receiving from your products or your sales. So let me give you a more detailed view of what you can do with this. So let's say I go into accounts. Is there anybody else who cannot see the video so properly? Please write somewhere in the chat. I don't know why I do not see any message in the group chat, but here is a group chat section that I have written something in. I think you should be also able to write in here. So okay, so now we focus more on Dynamics CRM as a product. So there is a specific user interface scheme that Microsoft's Dynamics products are following since, let's say, 2009. These are like forms and views to be very basic features of the user interface. Views are like, you see my active accounts, you see all active accounts, you see inactive accounts in your system, you see data that is filtered by some criteria based on these definitions, and these definitions are possible to be customized. Whatever you see here is 90% customizable. That 10% is again something that you can change with code. So you see a view of accounts, and then you click one of the records, and just like any basic user interface in a Windows application or web application, you will see a form that has a layout. The layout shows some basic data about the entity, the records details like account name, phone number, and whatsoever, the address, then some related information. So you can see there's a primary contact of this account, then there are additional contacts of that account. This is all out of box. Then there are some recent opportunities that you have been, this customer has been involved in. And then there are some recent cases, and just like that we have more related data. So as a matter of fact, there is a third normal form database behind this user interface from where the data is being pulled. So whatever you have in this account is coming from a table called account in CRM. This is an online version. I could not switch on my on-premise today. I will, in the online version, it's not possible to look into the database, but in an advanced session, I will definitely show you the database structure of this application. So this area is pretty interesting in the middle of the form, and you will see this in all other entities like contacts, cases, opportunities, and leads. There are some posts. This is a feature which is supporting your social networking. So for example, you are receiving feed from some social website like Facebook or LinkedIn, and you want to receive all those posts which are made about or made from or has some hashtag which link to this customer, and you want to receive that in your CRM system. That is out of box possible, and that's out of box possible with Dynamics CRM Online. Of course, there are some major social websites where you are out of box, you cannot out of box link it, but again, that's customizable, and you can write your own providers to receive data from there from additional ones. Then comes activities. Yeah, activities are, as I said, like you make phone call, you send emails, you send newsletters, you send SMS, you make appointments. All of those actions performed by your sales and marketing staff that generate some kind of transactions related to your customer, those actions are called activities. And activities are supposed to have a life cycle. Activity starts, it has a state which is called open by default. Then it has some special states, like an appointment is in a specific time frame for half an hour with a specific customer. Then that means that appointment is scheduled with a customer. Then once you attend that appointment, you change it to, okay, I am in progress, and then once you complete, you mark it with completed and some additional notes on the activity that, okay, that's what I did in this appointment. Now, you can say, well, that's just basic. We could also maintain that as an Excel worksheet. Fine. That's completely possible. But what is possible on top of activities, that's interesting to know. For example, you make an appointment with a customer, and that customer was rated as low sale customer, and based on that specific appointment, the customer is convinced that you are providing something new from your product which is very useful. Now that appointment is actually generating an opportunity in real world. You can do that with the activity record or the appointment record by just saying convert to opportunity. That's possible out of box with the CRM tool. So it's not just maintaining an activity record, it's actually creating transactions out of those actions that your sales guys are performing. Remember, the goal is that you want your sales and marketing staff to be most efficient with less learning curve to overcome in using a tool which is helpful in generating the sales. So let's say if we want to create an appointment, How will you do that? So you move to this activities area, you find some out of box links to create an appointment, and you say, okay, here is a new product service we would like to offer. Static is of course something which is mandatory, and this appointment is with this specific account. Fine. And then we have some start time. You can see this is based on the current time of my system. It's a default duration. You can change it, and with bare minimum clicks I can simply say, okay, now I am done. Now you look in the footer area. This is, as soon as it is saved, it has switched to scheduled. It was open in the beginning. This is the special status that you should see on the records in the footer area. So now here you see convert to, and you say, I want to convert this to an opportunity. Fine. Opportunity is supposed to be linked with a customer. It should have some currency. Well, this opportunity came out of a campaign or not, that's additional information. And here you go. You create an opportunity out of an appointment. As soon as you went into that appointment, you came out with an opportunity. And this is out of box opportunity form, nothing customized at all. We'll come back to this. So the purpose is to show you that the system is not supposed to maintain data only. The system is supposed to support sales and marketing lifecycle on top of the core data. And core data in CRM world is always, or most of the time, contact accounts and contacts. So I would like to move to some more functional area of the application. Let's say we go back to accounts, or what can we show? Yeah, there is something which is of more interest for technical aspects. Let me show you basic navigation. So as part of basic navigation, this is an out-of-box icon. You can change this with your company's logo. Of course, we have to maintain some kind of a icons aspect ratio and whatsoever. And then here you see, actually go back to Microsoft Office 365. We are not concerned with that at the moment. And then here you drop down and you see the major areas, and then you can see these further subsystems or sub-entities of each of the areas falling down. And then in the service area, again, customers, core data, and then you have possibility to create cases. You have possibility to actually create service calendar for all your service staff. They are out in the field and they have to follow a calendar to visit the customers. Then there's a very comprehensive functionality of queues. Queues are like first line support, second line support, third line support. You can create as many as you want to. Then there's a collateral of articles. You have SLAs, you have your product catalog, you have services just like products. Then this is more advanced sales KPIs. This is one of the areas that Microsoft has not really improved over last 4 years. I have not seen much improvement over this, because it's simply because goals and goal metrics, these are very specific from business to business. We cannot generalize one solution that could apply to all. Then yeah, you see the activities. Let's take a look at the activities. So I am logged in as a user. I see my username here, my organization name here, and then I see the activities that are available for me, or activities where I'm involved, or activities where I had been involved. And then you can see how many different kind of activities could there be. So you can see there are tasks that I was involved in, and within tasks there are some. You can see my task. You can see all tasks across the system. Again, this is a security. There's a very extensive security module in CRM that you can customize to make sure that people do not see the data that they are not supposed to see. So right now I'm administrator, I can see all tasks. I will be able to see everybody's task when I switch to that view. But again, you define a user with some specific security roles, some specific privileges, and that limits the capabilities and that the volume of data that user can see and the capability of operations that user can make on that data. So then we have fax. Well, I don't know who is using fax, but phone calls. Yeah, phone calls is a module that you will of course like to hear about. Okay, is there some kind of integration with the desk phones, Link, Skype, and all those telephony instruments that we have? Yeah, that's possible, and that's there are a number of products out there which can blend into Microsoft Dynamics CRM to provide those features. Then there are emails. There's a very comprehensive functionality around emails. You can receive and you can send emails from Microsoft CRM. You can integrate the CRM user interface in Outlook. I will also show you that. Then we have letters, basic features appointment, which you just had a look. Service activities, campaign response, campaign activity. These are a bit special. We will come back to this. Recurring appointments are those, for example, as soon as I'm done with an appointment, I just like you have scheduled appointments in your Outlook. Just think of it the same thing as that is. Social activity, you can have social activities which are activities which somehow link to a specific or more than one social websites, and they come in as activities into your system. So then if I look at one of the activities has a special model around this. It's again a simple table in CRM database which has more features than other entities, like special features for lifecycle. And you can see there are things like you can add it to a queue, and again, convert to opportunity, convert to case, and mark complete. This is something that comes with opportunity. So as soon as you're done with a phone call or a task or some email or some appointment, you will mark it as complete, or you will say, okay, I just want to close it. It's nothing concerned to me. I will just cancel it. I'm not supposed to work on this task. So again, this is just data, but on top of this, you can have features which are also available in out of box and customizable on top in CRM that can improve your sales and marketing productivity. So once I mark complete, you will see that task will go away, and if I go to completed task, I will see. Will I see that here? There is a filter around that. Here, close activities. My activities and close activities. My close activities. And if I say all, this is a task that I think I just completed. I hope so, but it's possible to filter it further. So this was a basic overview of the activities. Now I would like to show you a querying feature, more about general use of CRM in an organization. So for example, this is a feature called entity search. You can search across different entities. So you say, I want to search for an account which starts with, or which has something like datum. I think there was a name like datum. So you can see it searches across accounts and contacts. And again, this is customizable. This is customizable to support 10 entities search at the same time. And again, you can say, okay, what within the entity it can search. That's also customizable. But again, there's a cost on that. Cost is, of course, you end up creating more search indexes and all those things around it, as in the technical world we know. So yeah, you have to be, yeah, in order to optimize this, you need to be aware that there are string fields which can be of more than 100 characters length. And if you're searching across 10 entities in 5 fields on each of the entities, the search can take some time. So it's advised to use it with some knowledge of database indexes. So out of box it is I think switched on for 5, but you can set 10 entities to do that. We will come to that area also, where you can do customizations. Then you can see there is some quick create feature. So what is this? This is, yeah, this is more interesting. So what I have just recently seen, I have seen some views, I have opened some views, I have opened some records, I have probably created some records. This is possible, and I think this is also customizable to support more in here, but again there's a cost. Then yeah, and if you look at this thing, if I switch to sales, this thing changes to sales. So within sales, now what else is possible? I can go through. Then if I change this to something within service, this thing changes to service. And then what is possible within service? So you actually, once you start your own trial, which is very straightforward, no cost, 30 days, fully functional. You can start that at any time and start getting acquainted with this user interface. That's what I don't want to spend too much time on. So okay, another feature which is more interesting is, yeah, quick create. You can see that you can create some things in a more limited form. So let's say you are out in the field, or you are at a customer visit, and you don't have too much time to type in a full-blown form of opportunity. You just say, okay, I just created an opportunity on a quick visit, and then you say you say a contact and account. So you say, I just take the first contact account, and you just save it, and there it is. And then once it is created, you can look at the full-blown opportunity form by clicking the view record. Okay, so this is another feature that I would like to show. This is called advanced find. It's like query building tool, so you can query across your entities. I mean, one entity at a time, by doing some basic join features and also basic query features. Well, not too basic. To some level, they are supporting some smart criteria. So, for example, you want to look at accounts which are active, let's say. So by default, we are looking at active accounts in the system. And then we say, okay, I want to look at accounts where account name starts with, ends with, is not null, that means contains data, or does not contain data, is null, or contains a string, whatever. Then interesting thing is that, yeah, you don't want to see the same conditions on a date time field. So for example, I would show you something created on. So every record in CRM, that's again something on the customizations area. I will come to that, but again, because it has popped up, created on is a date on the record. So a record is created on a specific date time. The filter available on that is all of these. Again, I won't like to go on each of these, but you can of course use it. Then there are some other type of field like integer fields. So if I am right, 1830 is probably an integer field or a number field. Then we have got some fields which are like related entity. So when we look at related entity, there are two ways of relation. One is that account is referring to a parent account, so there's only one parent. An account has some child accounts. So there's a company which has a hierarchy, and each unit in the hierarchy is itself an account. It's a separate customer for your organization, and you want to maintain that as your core data. So you have an account which has a parent account. So if I switch to a parent account filter, I will see this magnifying glass. This magnifying glass gives me possibility to further see, okay, the parent account is this. This is like looking at a foreign key. In basic database terminology, it's really looking at the parent account, the foreign key in the account table, which is referring to another account in the same table. So simple. So I'll say, okay, I want to look at an account. I want to search all accounts which are parented by, let's say, Edwin Traverse. All right. So I'll just delete these criteria. Then this was from one entity n to 1. So there are multiple children of a parent account. Now this is the other way around, that this account that you want to see in the result should have some child accounts, or should have some child contacts, or should have been involved in some activities, or should have been involved in some appointments, or should have registered some cases, or all the 1 to n relations that you can search. This is like inner join in SQL. So yeah, let me do one query for sample. Let's say if this gives some data. No. So we say parent account contains data. So as soon as I do that, you will see that this value field is disappeared. So there are no accounts which have any parent account. Interesting. So let's say if I want to find something which has some child, or yeah, primary contact, an account which has a primary contact. So these accounts have some primary contacts. All right, now this is just look at how the user interface is switched. This is the query area and this is the results area. And there are tools, list tools. There's a reason that it says tools. I'll come back to that. But this is the query area. See what you can do. You can save this query and use as, for example, you have a query which you use very regularly. You are a sales guy and you use that query very regularly in your day-to-day sales. You would like to create that. You have a technical team which can do that query for you and make it available for you in the next change that is released for you, and you don't have that much time, so you want to create that query yourself. This is possible from this interface. So you create the query and you say, I want to save this query as active accounts which have primary contact. So now this query is saved, but look at this. This is not part of the system view. This is only your own view. And this view will actually be available when you move to accounts list view, which we saw earlier. So, and what else you can do on this, you can actually then go in and say, I want to add more columns to this view. So you can actually add fields from account entity, like all those rest of the fields which are not available, and you can, there are plenty of fields, and it's not necessary that you are using all of those fields. You are using some of those fields which are not out of box on that view, so you just add it there. A tip here is that if you wish to use it, a tip is that start with an existing system view and customize it for your own need, and then save it as your own view. That will save you a lot of effort, because if you start with a new view, you will see very few columns and you will see no criteria. Criteria is simple, but adding columns could be time consuming, because every column then you can change and say that's the width of the column, and then you can move those around. And so when you go to an active view, that's a view that is available, that's a view which is more adjusted for common needs. So yeah, it's part of the systems rollout. So yeah, now let's say we have saved that query. We go back to the accounts view, and should we see that or should we not see that? Yeah, we see that here. Yeah, simple stuff. So that's possible from advanced. Fine. One more thing that, of course, there are many things that I would like to address, but one more thing that I would really like to show you is business process flow. So as I said, that you have some core data and you have some transaction data, and your transaction data is things like opportunities and cases which are related to your customers. So now when you are creating that transactional data, you have a custom lifecycle of opportunity. You say, okay, an opportunity cannot be won without having these specific fields set on opportunity. Let's say account is a must. Let's say primary contact of the account should also be stamped on the opportunity. Let's say the sales guy must make sure that the account is silver rating. Let's say sales guy must make sure that account has participated in in sales in last 6 months. So all of these things are your sales process requirements. Fine. You say, okay, I will customize the view, I will customize the form so that you make some fields mandatory here and there on the opportunity form. But yeah, how much will you like to do for achieving that? And what if you have some uniform way for achieving these specific kind of user stories, where a life cycle on a specific transaction should be easily viewable for the sales or the marketing or the customer service staff? Okay, probably I should show you something now. Let's say I'm looking at opportunities. I have created this opportunity, I guess, just today. Yeah. So this is that unified approach. This bar on top is business process flow. A business process flow on an abstract level is something about a business which supports, which actually business process flow is actually something that is achievable by moving your customer data or your transactional data through defined stages, which are defined by the processes in your organization. So for example, your opportunity starts with a qualification process. That's a common business process flow. Again, this is out of box and it is customizable. So an opportunity starts with a qualification stage. What is absolutely necessary for an opportunity to move from qualification stage into the next stage? Well, you can say it must have identified an account, it must have identified a contact, and it must have something about purchase time frame, which is like, I can see it's something about an option set or a list of values that purchase time frame was at least the purchase time frame that this opportunity, you could translate in your business terms like, okay, purchase time frame after this opportunity has been registered in the system should be next quarter. That this customer is likely to purchase in next quarter. That could be definition of purchase time frame. So, and again, this is customizable. You can change it. You can create. You can actually remove this from this stage and this specific field from this stage, and add another one based on your business needs. Then, okay, I have done this, and then there could be some of the values which are mandatory. That's also possible, that your qualification stage is not over before you have identified the contact and you have identified the account. So, and that's customizable. That, okay, you will see asterisk here on the identify contact. So let's say we now move to the next stage, which is the develop stage. So in the develop stage, we can see, okay, qualification stage is over. In the develop stage, there is some steps to be performed, and the step is identify competitors. Yeah, I have identified competitors. I'm a sales guy. I have identified competitors, and that means now I'm ready to take this into a proposed state. Proposed stage, sorry, not state. State is a different term. So in the proposed stage, we might have something more out of box. There is no special stage. It's just steps to be performed here. Then, okay, this is customizable. We can look at that customization feature where you can add more stages or more steps. Then we have a close state. Sorry, there was something in the close stage which I overlooked here. I thought it will show up here. Sorry. So in the develop stage also, there are things: identify competitors, customer need. You can write some needs here. The open text field, stakeholder. Identify. Have you identified the stakeholders? Fine. Okay. Then, all right. Again, if you may make one of these mandatory, then you will not be able to move into the next stage without having it specified. Then in the proposed state, you have more steps to follow, and then in the close stage, you have yet more steps to follow. So now the opportunity is active and it is in close stage. That's why I meant two different words. Close is the stage of this opportunity in the life cycle, in the business process life cycle, which is again an organization's specific business process. But active is something that determines this feature: active accounts, inactive accounts. So every record in CRM has a state in the database record, which is like active or inactive, and there could be reasons that for an opportunity to be in an inactive state, and there could be reasons that an opportunity is in active state. So you see here, this opportunity is active and open, and then you just go in and save it here. All right, so this was the bare minimum demo that I could provide today based on what is out of box possible. Again, I am getting notifications. I don't know why this chat is not working on the... Can you not write anything in this chat? I don't see any messages in this. But anyway, we will improve over time. So let's take a look at one more feature. Let me show you something more interesting about processes, or let me give you... Yeah. When we talked about security, users can see data and users can perform actions on data based on their permissions and security roles. It's a it's a very comprehensive area of Dynamics CRM application that builds on top of Active Directory, ADFS, Office 365, Microsoft Online, or whatever directory structure, Active Directory structure you have in your organization. So if I want to see where I am defined, my name is Amit Sheikh, and I will see where I'm defined. I'm defined as a user in this business unit. And again, this brings a whole new topic, but I would like to show bare minimum. So by out of box, Microsoft Dynamics CRM is an application that supports hierarchical organizations. So you have a top business unit, then you have child business unit, then you have further children, and I think there's a maximum depth of 50 or 80 levels of business units under in the whole tree. But I have never reached that limit. Even in very large implementations, it's not, I mean, it's again, you don't have to map each department to a business unit. You define business unit by the operations that they perform, like sales operations, like marketing operations, like administration operations, like customer service. But again, those business units could be in different geolocations. So that could be one level. Within each sales and marketing business unit, you have a business unit for your European versus North American sales. Again, that's also a constellation. So you can come up with your own constellations, and it's all possible if as long as you are moving in a hierarchy. So yeah, somebody wrote to me that chat is not visible. I'm sorry. I will learn this tool eventually and make it available. This Google webinar is the first time I'm ever using it for webinar. Actually, this is my first ever webinar, but anyway, funny. So as I said, you can maintain your business units as hierarchy of your departments or your functional units or your sales units or your geolocations or your, yeah, you have to define it, and that's where the effort is. Effort is not on how the security can be configured. Effort is on defining the structure that will adhere to the security regulations of your organization. Recently, actually a year ago, we went through an implementation where we totally flipped the business structure of an organization with 1800 CRM users in 16 countries in Europe, and that was a huge change. There was a primary factor that drove that change, and the primary factor was that the old model was not thought through. The business unit structure model was not thought so well, and that came up that did not adhere to the security regulations of the whole organization. So there were countries which could see each other's accounts, while there were countries like, for example, Germany and France, they should be able to see each other's accounts, but Greece and Spain should not be. So we needed to come up with a business unit structure that could suffice both requirements. So again, you have to look at your business model to define this structure. And again, this will be yet another webinar on how to define users. I hope this one was good enough that can get you started with this URL. I will send this URL to each of you so that you can, if you wish to, you can start your own trial. And for all those inconveniences, like for example, you could not hear or you could not see the video so well, I'm sorry for that. And any group chat that you wish to write to and you were not able to, I will also learn out of this and improve it for the next session. I hope you can still question me, and you can write me. I hope you have my email, but you can write me any questions and any articles that will be helpful for coming up. So thank you for this time, and hope to see you again. Thank you. Bye bye.